All right, so this week we worked on ankle mobility and flexibility. One simple thing that you can do that we often forget is work on the flexibility of the arch and the foot and all the fascia and the muscles that are there. So if you have some little balls at the gym or your athletes have them, just spending some time when they first come into warm up and doing some ball release through the bottom of the foot can actually make a difference in their ankle flexibility. So that's a great thing to do, and sometimes they'll be tender through there, or they'll find some tight spots that they can work on. It's also really good for prevention of Achilles problems. So I would spend a minute with the ball on each side, and then we're going to show you doing some ankle rocking. So let's do that, Corey. In a kneeling position, Corey's going to make sure that the knee and the ankle and the foot are lined up, and he's just going to rock straight forward, hinging at the ankle joint, and then coming back. So kind of assessing how much movement that he has. Okay, and he can have his hands down onto the mat for balance as well, and then it helps him shift the weight forward to get a little further. And he's going to try a few different angles. So he might try rocking out to the side and see what the flexibility of the ankle is, to the inside, and then straight to the middle. So just kind of comparing, because your athletes may be stiffer in certain degrees, and it can be just fine tuning, okay, where's the stiff part, and then we're gonna work on that. So rocking back and forth, maybe 10 times in each direction. We can also use a band to help this. So Corey's gonna take a band, put it around the front of the ankle. Okay, and the band Corey has is a little thin. You could use something bigger, like a TheraBand. And this is just going to help encourage this movement. So let's work with just on the straight forward and back rocking, Corey. And I want you to go as far as you can. So you're going to hold that position. And then one thing we can do is a little bit of muscle contraction to help us. So he's going to stay forward in his ankle bent position. And he's going to try and lift the toes in the arch. So he's going to activate some muscles. And he's going to do that for 5 seconds. And then he's going to relax and see if he can get a little bit further, trying to keep the heel down on the mat. He's going to do it again, so squeeze and lift the toes in the arch, hold there, and then he's going to relax and rock forward. One more time. So if you're using this technique of squeezing and releasing to get more range, I would do 2 or 3 times, each time hopefully getting a little bit further. Okay, so Corey's practicing that going straight forward and back. He could also try doing it a little bit to the inside of the ankle or a little bit of the outside of the ankle, depending on where he's stiff. Okay, and once we work on range of motion of any joint, we want to make sure we do some exercises afterwards to get the muscles ready to work through this range. If you have your gymnast doing lines on the floor as part of the running warm-up, one nice thing to add in is a single leg landing, so to practice that. So he's going to land and pause in the landing, make sure he gives himself enough time to correct any balance problems that are happening. And what you'll see some people doing is they'll land and the knee will fall in. Yeah, and then they're going to lose their balance. So really making sure that we're working on that. And you also will see people land with their foot turned out. So show me that, Corey. Yeah, and it may not be that extreme. It might be just a subtlety because of stiffness in the ankle or other reasons. So trying to make sure that they're landing with everything straight. I also like walking lunges. Maybe start a little bit further back. Yeah. So keeping the arms up, stepping into your lunge, trying to keep the alignment of the hips, the pelvis, the knee, the foot, everything is straight. Okay, so you can see when Corey lunges down, it's just subtle, but he starts to fall in with the knee and the arch starts to drop a little bit, so he can work on being straighter there. And making sure you tell your athletes to use their glutes, so they're often very dominant in using their quad muscles. Really trying to push into the glutes and push the hip muscles. Yeah, good, to keep a little better alignment. Okay, and then if you really want to have some fun, you're going to make them do lunge jumps. So find your lunge position, Corey. Good, and then he's going to lunge, and then he's going to push up, jump, and land. So now we've added a little bit more dynamic movement. He still needs to try and keep that same stability. You can see how his knee wants to kind of wobble in as he's landing, so he's going to use his glutes a little bit more in his abs. So tighten up through the core. Okay, and then rest. Good, so you could do a line of single leg jumps, then you could do a line of walking lunges, then you could finish with this more dynamic jump.